Well, once again, you guys have been requesting me to review some other movies, and by you guys, I really mean Banky Love the Pokemaniac. And, but though, you really have to give he or she credit. I don't know who you're, I'm sorry, but let me just say, I have to give you credit, Banky Love the Pokemaniac, because you actually call me and you actually have really good ideas for movies to review. You requested Inception, The Avengers, and The Perks of Being a Wildfire. Now, I haven't seen The Perks of Being a Wildfire. I'll probably watch it this week and hopefully get back to you and see what I think. But today, I will review Inception and The Avengers, and I definitely want to start with Inception. Let me just say, Inception, this is a whole new movie. This is definitely one of the most original movies of 2010 that I've ever seen. This is a very smart movie, very intelligent, and it's done in a way that, honestly, I've never seen before. It is very interesting to watch. It is something that just really make me go wow. Honestly, it just made me go wow the first time I saw it. I was really amazed by it. Christopher Nolan, he makes smart movies, he makes intelligent movies. He really knows how to do his filmmaking. I've said that before when I reviewed the Batman movies, but it's true. He really does know how to make movies. Now, Inception, it's the whole story, it's all based on dreams. I mean, I wasn't really a big fan of that whole concept. The only other movie I really seen that was about dreams was Shark Boy and Lava Girl. And I mean, I was a kid growing up and I liked it then. Now I don't like it so much. But I think now if I watch that movie again, I kind of get thrown off the path, the fact that it's all about dreams. And I was kind of what I was worried about when I first saw this movie, back 3 years ago. But though, when you give it for what it's worth, it's really an amazing movie. I mean, there's so much that goes on. It's a very complex story, which he always does in this movie. But this one really takes it to the extremes. It really shows how far a director's willing to go to make something, not just different, but incredible at the same time. And I really like that about this movie. There's, definitely great visuals, great just cinematography, great execution, great elements, even great acting. Leonardo DiCaprio. For those of y'all who don't know, I don't think I've ever told you this, but Leonardo DiCaprio, he's definitely one of my favorite actors of all time. He always gives great performances. I definitely appreciate him as an actor. To me, honestly, I don't think he's ever really had a bad movie. I've loved him in all kinds of movies. I loved him in The Departed, The Aviator, Blood Diamond, Titanic, Great Gatsby recently, you name it, I freaking love that guy. And he was great in this movie, too. It may not be one of his, top 10 best performances ever made, but he really nails in this movie, along with other great actors like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy, okay, he was a very smart dude in this movie. I didn't know if I was going to like him. He was probably one of the most interesting characters throughout the whole movie. I loved him, And there's also other interesting characters like Kim Wannabe, Ellen Page, and she really worked really well. I didn't know for sure, but she worked really well. That's really the whole thing, It's kind of like, how, directors always take in some actors that may not be for sure, bringing some new actors like I never heard at the time, like Tom Hardy. I never heard of him at the time. And I didn't really know much about Ellen Page other than that she started in Juno. And taking all these actors together and making one great movie. That's what I really love about this guy, is that, he kind of just picks, and all that, and brings them together and makes a great movie. Now, this movie, it's definitely a hard story. It's not an easy story at all to follow, okay? It's a very complex story. It involves so many different layers and so many different elements. I mean, that is one thing that I've asked my friends about, because a lot of my friends who've seen this movie didn't really like it because of the fact that it is too confusing. But honestly, I mean, if you're going to watch the movie for what it is, if you put that aside, you will still enjoy this movie, no matter what. It may not be the best movie in the world, for sure. But but people will still like this movie for what it is. And I personally like that for the way it is. It is really confusing the first time I saw it. I've seen it, I think it took me about, a few times just to kind of thoroughly get through my head. I'm honestly not even sure if I still fully understand it, but hopefully I do understand most of the movie. I mean, it's not, necessarily, I don't think it was, 2010's best movie, but it was definitely probably 2010's most original movie. I mean, it is one of the best movies. It wasn't the best movie, but it's a great movie. I give this movie a 9. I know if you wanted me to review this movie kind of like a 10, for me saying that it was great, I know, I'm sorry about that, but I mean, the only reason I give it a 9 is because, is that, you want to keep this, is that, because when you confuse the audience like that, it kind of makes it lose a little bit of the story. It did that a little bit for me, but, when it keeps on rolling like that, and it still keeps you interested, for me, as it keeps getting interesting, and it keeps getting deeper and, more engaging, it's really worth watching this movie. It was a great movie. It was an awesome movie, and definitely I have this movie on Blu-ray. I can watch this movie over and over and over again. It's a great movie, and I love Inception. And thank you. Oh my God, I forgot your name. Love. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. But you know, I know you know who I'm talking about. Thank you for helping me wanting me to review this movie. Now we'll get on to the Avengers. Now the Avengers, you know, is Marvel's, you know, long collaboration of, you know, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, and the Hulk, and other side characters that that you probably have seen in other movies. Well, except for Hawkeye, I think. But anyway, you know, the Avengers. Let me just say, you know, Avengers is probably the most. You know, when Dark Knight Rises wasn't necessarily on, you know, at the top of his game, you know, before this movie, you know, this was probably the most anticipated movie of at least May, you know. And, you know, and I can tell why, you know, because it's the collaboration of all your favorite superheroes, you know, Iron Man, you know, all of them. It's all you... I'm getting off topic here. All this grass. If you're wondering why I'm doing this outside, is I don't feel like doing it inside because my parents think it's weird that I make videos. That's just me, so I don't really tell them that. But anyway, you know, okay, what was I thinking? Okay, yeah, but like I said before, you know, I mean, watching, you know, all these superheroes that you know, and then having them try to work together, you know, it's a hard concept, but very interesting at the same time. This movie did that pretty successfully, I think, you know. I mean, I don't think it was, you know, just, like, the best superhero movie ever made. To me, that's Dark Knight still, and probably always will be. But, you know, still, this movie is very enjoyable, very fun to watch. You know, for what it's worth, you know, I mean, the fact that it is like a 2-hour and 20-something minute movie, it doesn't really feel that long, because even though, I mean, here's one of the things with the story, you know, it's kind of just like, it just goes from this scene to this scene to this scene to this scene. I mean, it really is all kind of, and when I mean that, it's all really just kind of chronological, you know, it just kind of just goes. There's not really any bumps and gaps, so to say, in the stories, you know, where like you go from one thing to another, and it takes up a course of time, you know. It all just kind of connects back up, you know. It doesn't, you know. That's kind of one of the things I had this movie, and it's surprisingly how short it felt, so to say, you know. But, you know, but though there are some good elements to the story, like how they express, you know, how these superheroes have to work together, you know, to become one and stop Loki and all of them, you know, and stop evil and all that, you know. It's, you know, I mean, it's a concept that probably has been done before, not so much as a superhero sense. It's definitely the first superhero movie of its kind to probably do that. But, you know, it's probably not the first to take on that idea. But, you know, we always love to see these types of movies take on those roles, you know. See how they choose to deal with their problems and how they're going to solve it. And, you know, and how, you know, see if they can get along. And, you know, since we all kind of know that they are going to work together, you know, it's still kind of fun to just to see how it all happens, you know. You know, it's a fun movie. It's a great movie. You know, everyone I've seen has loved it. Everyone how I know has seen this movie. I don't know one other person in this world who has not seen this movie. I mean, it's not really like so much the movie that I would say is just like flat out perfect. You know, the best superhero movie ever made. It has its flaws, but in the end, it is still a great, enjoyable movie. I give this movie an 8. You know, like I said before, it's fun, enjoyable, and it's great to see kind of all these concepts kind of come together and show that all, you know, basically how the message is teamwork, you know, which is kind of weird, but then again, that message kind of draws on more of kids rather than teenagers. Us teenagers, we kind of just like to see people, you know, just take on, you know, the Loki's army and all that stuff, like all these visuals and all that crap, you know, it's amazing. But I will say this, you know, there are some scenes that look like that honestly came from Transformers, and I saw this on a CinemaSins, actually, you know, and you can tell in the trailer when that one big ship's kind of coming in like this, I'm like, Transformers, you know. I literally thought that. I didn't just say that from CinemaSins, I just said that, you know. And I will say, you know, if you're gonna do a movie, don't try to rip it off of something else. I'm just saying. But other than that, you know, the movie was great, you know. I don't want to get into all that. Well, that's it for one of my other movie reviews. You know, like before, ask me anything, ask me any other movie to review, I will let you know. Movies, TV shows, not really so much games and music, because I don't listen or play to those as much, you know, but movies or TV shows, comment below, let me know, like, now, okay, you know, and dude, whatever your name is, I'm so sorry I forgot your name. But I will try to hopefully watch The Perks of Being a Wildflower sometime this week, and hopefully get back to you on that. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this review, and hopefully to others that also watch this and enjoyed this video, be sure to tell your friends, be sure to subscribe, and all that crap. Hola, amigos!